please send it along to us. Thank you. I yield.
Mr. Fitzgerald is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Director, for being here today. Oftentimes at these hearings, I just want to bring some balance, I think, because a lot of figures are tossed around, but I just want to remind people, in the state of Wisconsin, my home state, 422,000 permits were sold for deer hunting over a 9-day season. For the most part, very safe 9 days. It's a huge part of our history in Wisconsin.
Doesn't sound safe for the deer.
And I'm very proud to say that those people also have to be represented today in this room. I want to just change the topic very quickly. In February 2023, I sent you a letter alongside of some of my other colleagues requesting that you and the Attorney General Garland, just give us some input on proposed legislation that would remove certain less than lethal weapons from the Gun Control Act. And what I'm talking about are stun guns. As you may be aware, any less than lethal weapon, such as a taser that uses any type of explosive charge to obviously shoot the projectile, which has wires attached to it. Although it's not lethal, it's categorized under the GCA. There's a very low probability, and I have an actual manufacturer that's in my district who has contacted me about this. So what I'm asking is, what is your position on not only non-lethal devices, but just how did they end up in that category of the Gun Control Act of 1968?
Thank you for the question, and obviously it goes without saying, but it's important to say that law-abiding citizens who are hunting or doing things that are protected by the Constitution, ATF respects and that activity, and we need to continue to do that.
That's good to hear.
With respect to the Gun Control Act, so the definition that Congress wrote talks about, I think the words are by means of by explosion, right? So I don't want to get out ahead of myself. I can check and get back to you on the letter, but I think that language that Congress wrote is covering some things and then not others. Like, for instance, if there's a different way of expelling the item, it wouldn't be covered under what Congress wrote. So I think the reason why some things are covered and some things are not goes back to the statutory definition. And again, as I pointed out, the marketplace, right, can change and products are developed. So sometimes the law, is applied in ways that people may or may not anticipate.
So let me just ask you, so as your experience as a civil rights division attorney, do you think that the non-lethal devices have an effect on reducing the use of force on the street when a law enforcement officer would obviously garner a taser versus their firearm?
So I want to be careful I don't overstep my expertise, but I have had some experience. And so when police officers have options as to what to do and what to use, right, they have more different ways they can respond to a situation. Now, there are different rules for devices that are possessed by law enforcement as well under the statute that Congress wrote.
So would you agree that incorporating non-lethal weapons in the GCA definition of a firearm, that might actually hamper our ability to develop new types of new avenues for law enforcement?
I don't know the full answer to that question. I understand that you have a letter pending. I will check into it, and we'll try to respond.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense to put an exception in there for tasers? To me, and like I said, there's a private corporation that's very frustrated by the characterization under the GCA. So I'm just wondering, it makes common sense, doesn't it?
I know it's frustrating, but there's a very significant process for people in the executive branch weighing in on legislation, and I can tell you I will check on this in response to your letter.
Well, thank you very much, and I expect some type of response. Thank you. I yield back.
Ms. Escobar is recognized for 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dettelbach, and to members of your team. Thank you